I audible, guys? Please use the chat box so that we can communicate better. So, welcome to Skill Connect.
I'm audible. Just can anyone come? Okay, fine. So hi, hello, hi everyone. I start with like what we are going to discuss in today's session and what's basically this webinar is going to be about. So this webinar is basically going to be about like how to develop an end-to-end AI project. Like what are the simple or you can say what are the crucial steps involved in developing an end-to-end AI project. So that all process we are going to discuss and what things and what tools are required to develop these types of projects and and then we can have a small quiz also on that you can tell you can tell like whether what you know and what you understand from this webinar and how different type of AI projects we can make through these like going through this simple steps. Okay, so this webinar is going to be about that. So let me share my screen. So basically, we are going to discuss about like how to create the intelligent systems, how to develop an end-to-end AI projects, and how this process we can make it easy, and what basically where we want more time, and which step is basically you can say a time-taking process, and which step we can actually it's not time-taking, but still it's a very important step, and why actually it's not like always stick to some creating AI project and not thinking about creating end-to-end AI project. Okay, so that difference actually we will see and how for now it's so much important for creating an end-to-end AI project rather than thinking about some random type of AI projects. Okay, so in this thing we are going to discuss basically the introduction part and understanding about the AI projects and then data collection and preparation, how to choose the AI algorithms, how to train and test the models, how to deploy the AI models. Okay, so all that things we are going to discuss. Um, so yeah, we are discussing about how to create in this end-to-end AI project. So in this first step, like which we are going to see, that is the introduction part. Okay, like what is AI, what is artificial intelligence, and what are the intelligent type of AI projects, and then understanding of this AI project. And then we start with the first step that is about the data collection, data pre-processing, and data analyzing part, and then how to choose the right AI algorithm on that data, how to train and test your models, and how to finally deploy your AI models on different platforms. Okay, and then we just come to the conclusion part. So first thing that we have to see that the introduction that what basically these intelligent systems are. Okay, intelligent systems, what we actually term as intelligent systems. Intelligent systems, that means like something which is like some intelligence mind. Like if we consider a human whenever they develop something, they just think about something creative. Okay, and then they come up with some idea and try to implement that and develop that in the product format. Similarly, we want these things to be get automated. Automatically, it could be created with the help of some artificial intelligence technology. Okay, so that's why the importance of these intelligence systems is being growing widely. Okay, so what actually basically, first of all, like before going into deep into this, those who don't know what is artificial intelligence is basically you can say a computer's intelligence. Like we have a human intelligence mind. Okay, so like that only the artificial intelligence, that means the how computer is thinking. So basically if we think about in human perspective, what we do, we have some questions, we answer that questions. Okay, so we just get some problem and we try to act on that problem and take an action. But what happened in artificial intelligence part, they think rationally. Okay, so they actually come up with some problem solving approach. They already set their goal and then define their actions, how to make that goal approachable. Okay, so artificial intelligence technology, you can't say like it's a single novel type of technology. It basically it's the combination of many type of technologies that we can say the neural networks. Okay, neural networks basically you can say it's like a replica of a human neural network. You know, like in our brain is basically made up of a neuron. Okay, in that neuron is basically it's basically consists of one neuron. I'm talking about one neuron. In one neuron, we have dendrites and axon. I don't know you are from biology or not. I'm just making it in a simple format. So dendrites and axon, that means these are the neuron parts in which dendrites worked as an input layer and axon works as an output layer. So your dendrites will take some input and they have to process on that input and then have to generate some output. Similarly, your neural networks is being designed in such a way where it has to take some input, it has to process on that input and to generate some output. So whenever we design some systems, so when you are thinking also some developing some AI product or AI project, you always have to think first of all about the input and the output. Okay, then we have to see like what actually we have to define in it. So we say no, always we have to think about three things, that is what, why and how. What we are going to develop, why we are developing this, like what's the problem behind it and why we are developing this AI product, and the third thing is basically how we are going to do it. Okay, so the main focus of the business people is on the how part. So in that only, that's why these steps will come in crucial, like what's basically we are defining is our input, that this is basically a topic, and what actually we are expecting from it, that means our outcome. So it's very necessary for artificial intelligence that how we are planning our project, okay, and how we are taking it into the execution mode. Okay, so artificial intelligence technology also consists of robotics. Okay, robotics, that means like again making things automated. So you have heard about like now the use of hardware devices, like how to make a robots, you can say robots do the task which is being done by the human now. That means having the intelligence equal like human. That is basically artificial general intelligence. That is still not there. It's still not here in 2023, but by 2000 not I say in 2 3 years, I will say in 10 20 years, we can expect, we can still expect, we can't be sure, because general intelligence is something like we can say breakthrough something, because we had developing such type of systems where we are comparing the human intelligence with a machine intelligence. Okay, so that development can lead to the robots. Okay, so robotics also comes in part, which also comes in your IoT. That means nowadays like integrate there are so many integration is going on between artificial intelligence and IoT, like creating digital twins. That means bridging the gap between the physical devices and the you can say virtual devices. Okay, then we have machine learning. Machine learning, everyone knows, like machine learning is a very important step when we think about like developing something in artificial intelligence, because it is a sub part of artificial intelligence. And then we have natural language processing. Okay, so machine learning basically is being used with natural language processing. Natural language processing, the biggest example you are seeing nowadays, that is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is based on NLP. Like NLP is an application behind it. So you know, like it's basically trained on large, huge amount of data, and basically when you write something, it automatically takes that data and it's being trained on that also. So basically, we are training with our data to the chat GPT. Okay, so natural language processing is like interacting with a you can say machines with the human languages like English, Hindi, French, German, like different types of languages. How we are interacting with them, like your chatbots, your voice assistant systems, which are developed before. And the recent development is the biggest is ChatGPT. Okay, perception is basically like whatever we see, like you know that around us we have so much data. Okay, every day we generate some data. In our daily task also we have some data. So data is everywhere. So when we have this data, for example, you have collected this data, so how you are basically going to act on that data. Okay, how you create, like how you basically interact with the environment to act on that data. That means what actuators, or I can say what devices you are going to use to act on that particular data. So that's where perception comes into it. And now very important part, that is knowledge base. So knowledge base also comes with your NLP. Like knowledge base is basically like creating a graphical based type of a you can say a diagrammatic representation where we can understand how each and every parts are related to each other. Okay, for example, like you have suppose thousands of research papers, and now from that thousands of research papers, it's very difficult to do it manually. to find it out. For example, I have to find it like some simply I'm working on some um, for example, I'm working on some automation type of data. In that automotive vehicle, I just want every recent like past 10 years or 20 years recent development in vehicles, what research has been gone in that. So I want to collect that data. But when I collect that data, it's in a very messy format. So knowledge based system will provide that basically a platform where we can actually visualize our data in a proper way. Okay, so we can understand the relationship between data, and it will make our work easy. That means if that task is taking 3 months, it is now getting it in 1 hour. Okay, so that type of development. So in together, these all things will make up your artificial intelligence, and that's how the intelligence systems being made. Okay, and that's why there is so much importance is also going for the intelligence systems. So now the next thing is basically that is your understanding the AI projects. Okay, understanding AI projects, that means like what are the different types of AI projects. Like now you have seen like what is artificial intelligence. Now we have to see that how basically what are the different types of AI projects we have, how to choose the right AI project according to your perspective, and how to identify the problem statement. Okay, so usually what happen in companies when we work as a artificial intelligence engineer or as a data scientist, okay, or anywhere in the field of artificial intelligence, we always have to think for a particular problem in the perspective of the business that will directly impact the business or indirectly impact the business, because then only we can get the profit, and there only from you also getting the salary. Okay, so that type of AI projects we have to choose, like which have a high impact. Some people are working in the research area, which have a high impact on the human life. Some people are working on the direct business impact, like this food delivery system, like Zomato, Swiggy. Okay, and if I say Amazon, okay, e-commerce sector, or Netflix, Amazon, OTT platforms. Okay, all these are using the different types of AI projects they have. Okay, so they have the different types of AI projects, and now like they have to choose like which is the right AI project for them, for their company, which can give them the much benefit. Okay, so for you also, like if you are a student, like when you think about creating some project, you always think about like how to make a best project that will make my resume good. Okay, so you always have to think about the right AI project which is still not developed, or which is already developed, or you can improve in that purpose. Okay, so the main thing is when we are understanding the AI projects, what's the business understanding, okay, where it should be impactful. Okay, then the further process will be coming, which I will be discussing further on, that the data understanding, data collection, modeling, evaluation, and deployment part will come. But the first thing will basically come understanding the problem statement. Until and unless you will not define your project, what you are actually going to make, that I told you, know, three parts, like what, why, how. So if you can't able to define these three parts, it's not possible to come up to the best solution. So whenever we are developing an end-to-end AI project, this thing we always have to keep in mind. Then next thing is basically the next crucial process in the end-to-end AI project, and the very important step, that is data collection and preparation part. Okay, so we always have to think about some data collection methods. Okay, data collection methods are basically like you can say you know that when you are making some project, there are so many sources are there in which your data is available. Okay, if I just think about, for example, you are thinking about some financial related project, like you are working in a finance company and you want some financial data to get a profit in their sector. Okay, like for example, I just say that how we are collecting the data. Okay, like for example, in the finance sector, like if you say credit card fraud detection. Okay, so in credit card fraud detection, how we are determining that whether that fraud is happening, so in which perspective it is coming. Okay, how much money it's being deposited, and like where the lacking is happening, in which sector it is happening. So all these things we have to analyze, and we can only analyze when we have the right amount of data. Okay, so the data collection is a very important part after defining our problem. We have to define what data we require and what we have actually gathered. Okay, and then we have to move on to the pre-processing part. where we have to format our data, clean our data, and sample our data. Okay. For pre-processing means when you collect your data will be very dirty. So you have to clean your data. You have to make it in a proper format so that it could be like you can say it could be convertible, or you can say it can be like make it in a proper format so that it could be used further. Okay, so for that, data pre-processing is a very very important step. That is in scientific data science term, we say EDA, exploratory data analysis. Okay, we explore the data, we do the analyzing process on that, and then we come to the conclusion. And then we have the data transformation. Now this is actually very much important part is going on. You are seeing like so much demand is going for data engineering part. There the data engineers will come in role, which will actually take that data and scale that data, like you can say a big data platform. Okay, use Hadoop, Hive, or these types of big data tools for data transformation, for doing the like converting the data in a usable format. Okay, so in that also, first of all, we apply some libraries, feature engineering. We apply some libraries, we scale our data, we normalize our data, we decompose our data, we aggregate our data, and then we pass it to the different platforms where we can get the proper scaling of data. We can say we can make a pipeline to automate this whole process of data preparation, so that when anytime you will get that amount of data again, like you will, that person has updated some new data related to credit card fraud detection, so you again don't have to do it from the starting. You already have created a pipeline, you just pass through your data through that pipeline, and you will get the final output. Okay, so that part will be done by the data engineers. Then after data collection, your next process is basically training and testing the models. Okay, so when you have data collection has been done, data processing, data feature engineering, everything has been done, then we actually train the model and test our model. Okay, and or you can see model evaluation will go on. So in this, the main thing will come, that is your hyperparameter tuning. Okay, so I just consider one example. For example, we have many pictures. Okay, many image data we have. Let's say consider like 5 to 6 categories of like fruit images we have, and we have to classify them into different different categories. So when we are making a model, we have to see that what's basically the parameters are important for training this model. Okay, or for you can say for testing this like data for this particular model. Okay, that is basically known as hyperparameter tuning. That means making your parameters in a proper way so that the model can be trained on it. Otherwise, what happen, your model will break later on, or it will give very bad output, very bad accuracy. Okay, so that's why we have to solve the best model parameters. For example, there are so many machine learning algorithms such as decision tree, random forest, support vector machine, linear regression, logistic regression. So if I consider the decision tree, which is a tree-based type of a machine learning algorithm, in that we select some parameters like how many nodes should be there, and you can say like what's the basically like value we have to put so that it will not get repeated. It will, when we like, generate the output through it, it will not just generate the different output again. So like these three parameters we have to mention when we are when we are making the decision tree model. So we have some hyperparameter tuning methods. Like there is this search method is there, which will actually tune like which parameters are important, which parameters are basically keeping the best weightage, and then we like we just tune them, and we select the best hyper parameters, and then we train our model on that. And we then when we get the training is being done, that means now the data is being trained on, like model has been trained on this data. Now we just test it. Okay, and then we come to the evaluation, where we will see the accuracy, that whether this particular model which we have selected for our data, is it correct or not, or we have to choose some other machine learning or deep learning model. Okay, so this part is also very important. So in this only, the main thing which basically come in training and testing part, that is basically your model selection also. Okay, that means how we are basically selecting the right model. Okay, right model, I can say that means like your like for example, which model will be best, that whether it should be your I can say your machine learning, I can say decision tree, random forest, SVM. We will experiment with so many types of machine learning algorithms or so many deep learning algorithms, and then at last we come up with the right approach. So that's basically part of a data science will come. Data scientist will come. He will be choosing the best algorithm, running that things. Okay, he will be doing the data collection part. All that things he will do. Okay, and machine learning engineer will also involve in this, where he will be also working which model is working best. Okay, and the main role of machine learning engineer is come up in the deployment. uh, I hope so you're hearing that term, that is MLOps. Okay, MLOps is going so much in demand nowadays. MLOps basically how we are deploying the AI models. Okay, what's the basically deployment strategy behind it? Okay, what's the deployment architecture behind it? How you are monitoring the data? How you're maintaining the data? Now, this is a very important part when we are making the end-to-end AI project. Now we have the data. We have to train our model on that data. We have choose the right model on our data. All these things we have done. But the main thing basically, the like when we have this thing, we have done the prediction, we have the value, but how to show it in that? Okay, so you know that currently we are using Python, a very important programming language for making some AI projects. But again, what happened? We have some you can say there are some APIs we are using for fetching the data. So APIs are playing a crucial role. So in that Python framework, also we have two types of frameworks like Django and Flask. Flask is actually getting popular nowadays. So we can create an end-to-end project by deploying through the Flask application on some website, and we can see the output through it. Okay, we can see some output through it, like how basically this Flask application is being like showing the output. Like for example, you are creating a credit not credit card fraud detection example, just take for example, let's say I'm currently, like for example, working in like company related to some health sector related thing. So I am just, for example, doing cancer research. Okay, I have found really important thing in that. Okay, I made a model on that. I have made the predictions that this is happening, and like if this particular cancer is persons will upload this type of data, they will be getting this type of output. That means it will be helpful for the doctors, or I can say like hospital like other staff people who can relate, like this type of data is creating so much impact, and this is giving so much type of a like so impactful output to us that in this, by giving this particular data, we can actually know that person is affecting with a pre-stage cancer or a mid-stage cancer or a late-stage cancer, or whether we can easily identify that whether this particular data which we have collected, it's basically it can be used for the drug development process or not. Okay, so it's a something different example. Let's say a very easy example. For example, you have to for a school, for a college things, they want to like see like which student will perform best, like such type of small project you have to create. So you can make an application on that, and whenever that particular student marks or past marks will be put in that, we can actually predict his future marks according to his past performance. That can be wrong. That can be depend on persons to person. It's just an example I'm giving you. Okay. So I'm saying like end-to-end project where we can actually show something. Okay. If you say if I say what like things we are available with, for example, some chatbots and all, we just know that these things are here, but we don't have any product for that. So it's so it seems like we are just empty hand. Okay, so that's why end-to-end project comes in very important role in that part. So deployment of AI models is very important, where we actually use the technology. For example, first of all, Docker and Kubernetes technology. Docker and Kubernetes technology is basically what, for example, in a company, or I can say in a in a group project, if someone is working on some project and they want to run that project. Okay, now another person wants to run that project. Okay, you are working in a 5 people team. Now another person wants to run that project, but he don't know what's the whether he has the right libraries for that, or whether he has the you can say such type of setup he has. Okay, which is required for running that particular project. Okay, so if we have the Docker installed, okay, Docker is such type of software which will basically will remove these type of hindrance, and we can run different types of projects with the same setup. Okay, if we have the Docker installed, Docker setup with our project, and we can run that similar project on the different laptop or different person's system. Okay, so that's where Docker comes in role. So Docker is basically a type of a DevOps tool which is using nowadays so much. Okay, it's also a part of your ML ops. Then the main thing basically after this come, that is the use of cloud platforms, that is Azure, AWS, and GCP. Okay, so these types of platforms, for example, if I like I'm currently working on GCP, so there basically we have the so many BigQuery, Big Hive. Okay, so many like these type of Firebase, these type of things like services are available. So you know in cloud that what service you will use, according to that you will get the outcome. Okay, so whatever service you are using, you will be getting the outcome for that. So now, for example, like if on GCP, I want to actually pre-process my data. That means I want to analyze my data. Since when I'm analyzing my data in my laptop, it's taking, for example, 5 days. But when I'm doing the same task in cloud, it's taking me 5 to 6 hours. Okay, so that's a different approach. It's not so much time taking also. So it's very important to deploy our models on the cloud platform so that it could be accessible to everyone, and they can actually make reduce of the like resources. As you know that cloud is very much good for data backup, data storage, and for compute part. So storage also we can do because it provides a large huge amount of storage at a very low cost. So companies are using that. So that's why these platforms are very necessary. But like nowadays if you're seeing that whatever job openings we have in the AI sector, it's basically demanding the in the resume that they need someone who knows at least one cloud platform usage. Okay, so it's become now necessary that you should know how to train a machine learning model, or how to do the data analyzing part on the cloud platform rather than doing it manually on your system. Okay, so this is a very much in demand. So that's why in the deployment part, this also very important, that how you are deploying your model, how you are making it end to end. Okay, like no, like whenever we create some development type of project, if I say in the software development field, we actually everyone just when they create some front end like full stack development I'm talking about, when they create something very good project, end to end project, they want to show it on the GitHub. They just deploy it on the GitHub. Okay, because it will be like it can be become an open source type of project. So if any input is being needed, people can put the input on that, and your project can be more improved. Okay, so many people are giving inputs in that because it is accessible by them. So that's also an end to end AI project approach. That means you are deploying it some on some end platform. So like AWS, Azure, and GCP are like that cloud end platforms, or you can say IBM Watson also. So these are the end platforms where we are actually like deploying our models. Okay. So in this, always like think like we have a very simple architecture, that we always have a client and a server. So client will always fetch like give some data or give some request, and server has to fulfill that request. Okay, so whenever server will try to fulfill that request, it has to go through the database which is stored in that. That means what data it is being fetched for the client, and then it will provide that data to it. Okay, accordingly it will give the response to it. So when we are doing this on server, there only we will train our data on the machine learning model, and we will train our data there. We will test our data there, and then we will deploy it finally here. So then anyone, for example, if in future you already have made that project, so if in future anyone wants to use your project, it's a very good project. They want to make use of it. They can go to your platform which you have created, and they can actually give their data, and they will see what they have, what you have produced. Okay, so that's a basically end-to-end project. You can say a product. Okay, that's basically in demand nowadays. If you are making something but you are not making it into the product, it's not of any use. You have heard about 4 P's. That is publication, patent, platform, and product. Okay, publication means like if you have researched something, you have doing something research, you can publish your paper on that, and you can show it to the world. Patent means if you are developing something novel, that means something new which is not being developed by anyone in the world. Okay, then you can file a patent for that. Patent means it's something new which is being developed by you, discovery. Platform means when you are making your project or something in a platform base. Okay, like for example, you are developing some very unique database, and you want that database when it's developed fully, it can be used by anyone else. Okay, you're developing some AI project, you want to make a platform for that. Now anyone will go there and put their data, and they will get the output. So that platform is needed. Next thing basically is um, your product. Okay, product is basically that is demanded by the business. Okay, like what actually the product can be made so that it can bring some profit or bring some money from it. That's basically the motive of the companies. Okay, so that part is also very important. So that's why deployment is very important, is a very important part of the end-to-end project steps. So in conclusion, if you can see, like this is basically the whole process I've just given. That basically like first of all, what we have to do, like we have to prepare our data. First of all, we have some database, or we have our own database, or we are using some online resources, like it's depend on the project to project, like what project you are making. Okay, whether you're making something finance related project, or something like health related project, or something like related to like daily people use type of project. So it's depend on that. So that type of database we have, we will collect that data from there. We are preparing that data in a correct format, and then we basically use our favorite IDE. You can say favorite IDE, Jupyter, Google Colab, or PyCharm. These are the different types of tools we use for building the AI or ML model in your in this type of IDE platform. And then we train and test our model on that particular platform, like on that particular IDE. And then we will register and manage your model. Like you have to update your model also. Like maybe today this machine learning model is working very good, but again after some time we will see that some new development has been going on, and this machine learning model is working much better than the previous one. Then you can do the updation also. So that type of gap also you have to create. Okay, then we have to build an image with model and dependencies, like what actually the image we are getting with the model, how much accuracy it is giving, whether it's applicable for the business use case, and how much profitable it will be. And then we will deploy and monitor our model. That means daily, or we can say some like monitoring and maintenance will be go for the models. Of course, we will take care of the security purpose also, which will be provided by the, if we are doing it on the cloud platforms, they are much secure. So we will deploy our model there. Deploy means we will just run our model there, and then we will monitor that how it's performing, and whether it could be used for a large end-to-end type of a product. Okay, so prepare, experiment, and deploy. These three terms are very important for an end-to-end AI project. Okay, so these are the key points. Basically, you can say these are the key points which are really important. And if we just keep up with these things, then only we can develop some AI products. Okay, then only we can think about some creating some project which will have some really a good impact. Okay, and that's only we can create some future of we can say now from this only the like step will be taken for how to create the intelligent systems future. Okay, how to create these products. Okay, but nowadays you are seeing like I'm talking about the student. Of course, in company we have to work like that. I am just giving like like in a student point of view. We always create some project, and it's like something which is like everyone is doing. Okay, it's not something end to end. Okay, so now when you're going for an interview, how the person or interviewer, how a company will know that whether you can work in their company or not. You don't know the end to end actually part in that. Okay, you just know that how to clean the data. You have just learned some Python libraries, you're just cleaning the data. You are just learn some basic machine learning algorithms, and you know, don't know proper maths around it also, and you are just using it. You are just predicting some data, that's all. But what actually company will do with it? Nothing, until unless they don't have an end-to-end platform for that. So that's why end-to-end AI project, if you create, it will give you a resume also very good. You can say a very good overview in the interview perspective, and also it will help you also to learn many new things, because nowadays so many access are free, like for the cloud, AWS, you can buy 1 year free subscription, you can work with that. For Azure also, you have a 1 year free subscription. Okay, and other types of platforms, and Docker and all, they are free open source platforms which you can download, and you can learn it, and you can create some interactive AI projects. Okay, so this will actually create some very high impactful you can say impact when we are working on these types of project things. Okay, so when we are always just what we have seen throughout like this going talk, that when we are developing some end-to-end AI project, it's not like we are developing some normal AI project. We have to think what's actually the outcome will come from this project. And when you think from that part, no, you can actually create like something of your own product also. Okay, like that only the startup mind will come. Okay, then they hire in the startup and they will give you more salary because they have that product idea and you have to work on that. Okay, so it's like that. So that's why end-to-end project is in very important part in the every sector, if I say, not only artificial intelligence, in every part. So that's basically it's here. So I hope so you are guys are listening and okay. Can anyone like give me a response, like am I audible or I lose the connection? Okay, I'm there. Guys, okay, before going to the quiz, anyone wants to ask any doubt or something? You want to ask anything? Okay, so maybe you will ask out later on. Let's me just have a few quiz time. Like I just created this so that it will be an interactive type of a webinar. So whatever I explained you, I just want to ask, like I put just three questions. You can give your answers in the chat box. I will see it there that whether it's correct or not. Okay, so first question is basically what is the first step in developing an end-to-end AI project? Guys, can you can answer in the chat box and I can see your answers there. Okay, I've got three answers: C, C, C. Anyone else? Okay, are you correct? Anyone wants to? I because C is the wrong answer, so anyone wants to write a? Okay, so two of the answers I got A, and that is correct. Actually, I also told you that first of all we have to think about the problem statement and understand the required data. Without understanding the problem statement, how we can go to the collection of data? Okay, so this is the second step we can say. So first step is basically defining the problem statement. So those who have answered A, they are correct. Then second question is basically what is the key component to building an end-to-end AI project? What do you think is the most important part which is basically required for building an end-to-end AI project? Okay, now I am asking the answers for the second question. So I got one answer, that is B. Anyone else? B is incorrect answer. Anyone else wants to try, or I just tell you the answer? Again, it's A only, data acquisition and preparation. Because until unless we prepare the correct data, we can't be basically create an end-to-end AI project. Choosing the right programming language is not a key component, you can say. Okay, it's like if you are doing with another programming language, until unless your data is not clean, it's not any point in that. Okay, so that's why data acquisition and preparation is a very important component. Then the last thing is what is the importance of data pre-processing in developing an end-to-end AI project? Just answer me this last question. Yeah, Yashwant is right. C is the correct answer. It helps to ensure the data is clean, consistent, and relevant. Okay, so that's all. A small quiz. So thank you guys. That's all about this webinar. So now, anyone wants to ask anything, they can ask their doubts.
All right, guys, this is the portal which we have. This is the LMS portal, and these are the various domains into which we provide more such programs, just like IoT, AI, which Soumya is a mentor at our platform as well. So she'll be personally assisting you throughout the 3 months journey. Also, there is a Skillvertex app which I would ask you to download and turn on the notifications so that you stay tuned with such webinars, upcoming webinars, and notifications you'll be able to get and you can join every time. So just download Skillvertex app and turn on the notifications on the app itself.